week on Talk SA, we wanted to know if you thought the information bill would change your life for better or for worse.
The problem comes in with what if the law isn't used correctly?
That we don't know. That's the problem with this bill.
This bill goes way too far.
Thanks to Melitemba Chris Mguni for a post on our Facebook page. Your comment helps South Africa to keep talking. Today on Talk SA, we try to find the middle ground between tradition and modernity.
Mangifika ebusuku ugogo wami bekangilalisa phansi angibheke ukuthi angibuye ebafaneni na.
In November of 2011, a group of traditional practitioners known as Imbabazana Cultural Organization put together a festival for virginity testing in Johannesburg. Now, this is in aid of an age-old tradition of virginity testing, and they have found another reason to continue with this ritual. Their mission is to smoke out abusers as well as to curb the high incidence of HIV and AIDS infections. Historically, virginity testing has been practiced over the years throughout the globe, and different cultures have their own reasons and principles when it comes to testing for the purity of a female. But now, whilst tradition can withstand the test of time, it can't remain untainted. And the question is it still being practiced correctly? Today on Talk SA, we are bringing you such a treat. We're going to peel back all the layers that cover up this age-old tradition. And first, we're going to go out into the streets to find out what you, South Africa, think about this tradition. Where's your head at when it comes to virginity testing?
Singinayo umntana intombazane kodwa usesemncane ngicabanga ukuthi useka kuso the stage if kungathiwa mhlambe kuyenzeka ngizwa khulunywa ukuthi kufanele and all that ngeke ngale mina kowami ukuthi aye lapho since ngibelieve ukuthi bekuyinto right.
Ukuhlolwa kwentombazana ukubheka ukuthi intombazana isaphila nayo ebuntombini bayo.
Isiko lakudala intombazana yayilaliswe ecansini. Ilaliswe ecansini ihlolo ukuthi intombi egcweleyo na.
Ekatsiba baba bula mantu baba fata kamenwana
Shuthi kuze ubomama abadala ukuyibona abazi ukuthi umuntu mayesese umntwana mabe shuthi bebheka lapha ababheka abavula khona bakhona uku-identify ukuthi lona useka used lona hayi usese umntwana useka fresh so shuthi ileyo ndlela abathi basebenza ngayo bafaka iminwe and all that but mabesho beze be-explain abathi ngesizulu kunehlo eliphakathi mangabe ufica lelo ehlo selivalekile which means you are damaged.
Namhlanje sila eThokoza sobe sixoxa no Gogo Thembi kanye no Gogo Zethu bazobe besitshela ngokuhlola kweintombi. Sanamukela la kwi Talk SA Gogo.
Yebo ngane yami siyabonga kakhulu kuba nani.
Indaba yokuhlolwa yaqalwa kanjani?
Indaba lena yokuhlolwa into yakudala eyaqalwa ngamantombazane akudala ngesikhathi kusekhona odingana. Amantombazane ayebukeka sengazathi bethi mabewabuka bawabone ngazathi amantombazane mhlambe athanda nayo aqomile. Ukuhlolwa lokhu kwakwenza ukuthi ingane ingayitholi silele nomuntu ebingazange mhlambe imqome noma ungazange lobole ukuthi kuhlale intombazane igadiwe. Kwakwenziwa futhi nawo ukuthi ke esikhathini esiphambili embusweni wamakhosi kwakungafuneki intombazane yakomunye umuzi bonakala isihleli komunye umuzi.
Cela usitshele ukuthi kahle kahle yini Imbabazane Cultural Organization?
Sase sisungula ke Imbabazane Cultural Organization ukuthi kube inhlangano ezobhekela abantu besifazane kanyeke nabafana nabo banalo iqathu kulendaba. Ukuhlolwa kweintombi lokhu usakusungula ngoba sibona abantwana bezaliswa inoma ubani abaleke basale amantombazana asale nezingane ezingenabo baba ezehlukene ngezibongo
mhlambe zibe u9 noma zibe u7 noma zibe u6 enyaka yazi nokuthi yapi wagcina nje lala nalowo muntu ayethandana naye agcine emithisila ngazi ukuthi owakuphi ngenxa yokuthi bekungasekho ukuthi abantwana bakhuzwa kanjani phela nakho namalungelo amile ngenhla akwazi ukuthi abantwana bakhuzwe noma bashaywe sasithi ake senze lenhlangano ke sibaqoqe sikhethe laba abazoyizikhetha bona
ukuhlupheka kusiphethe kusiphethe ukuhlupheka amasiko engasekho kanti makubuya amasiko kuzoba right yonke into izoba right kubuya imithetho izoba right izingane zethu ziluvanzi ziphuza utshwala zibhema ama-drugs abantu bayithengisela ama-drugs umama omdala ubaba omdala athengisela ingane yesikole ama-drugs
Koko njengoba nihlola nithola ukuthi sekuneyintombi iningi sekuyintombi noma iningi seku abangasiwona intombi
eqaleni ngangina leso stress leso mntanami ukuthi mhlambe nginabantu abawu200 ngizothola ukuthi ngithola 50 intombi kuthi aba150 abasezona intombi kodwa manje cha sengiyajabula nami sengihlala ngihleka ngoba mangabe nginabantwana abawu100 mhlambe i5 engizoyithola ingenabo intombi i95 igcwele akulindwe bantu abami akulindwe noselele uma ngabe nenhlahla engakayitholi ingculaza akayithibe kusukela manje akame kusukela manje ngoba kuyafiwa ngempela kudlala uyabona ikhankasile ingculaza bayayazi laba bayifaka bacabanga ukuthi asazi siyazi siyababuka nje ukhona kodwa uNkulunkulu kulabo abantu abangamamiliyoni asebephelele emathuneni uNkulunkulu bamkhohliwe ukuthi ukhona
Siyabonga bogogo bekumnandi ukukhuluma nani siyathemba futhi ukuthi ekhaya bazwile intombi zohlala ziyintombi into njengoba usho ukuthi nalaba asebelele bazosithiba manje bame. And you know what it's laba.
After the break on Talk SA, we take a pit stop at the Commission for Gender Equality for a modern take on this controversial topic.
Those who just engage in anal sex.
They don't know what is take a settings, but what works is effect.
Gavella?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've told you.
Here on Talk SA, we love meeting learned South Africans who can give us a balanced and informed view on highly topical issues. Now that's what we went in search of at Constitution Hill, where we met an amazing doctor called Tebogo Maiti, and she basically helped us lay to rest some unanswered questions we had about the issue.
Wabona ho sholwa ha bana ba banyane inentse ilento ene yetsuwa khale gore ke tla re mohlomong mme wa ka kapa nkgono wa ka ene yetswe ho bona empa ke ntho e etsuwang sephiring sa lelapa ho tseba ba ka tlung fela hore na ho etsahalang mina be ke ekhaya mina bengihlolwa kanjani mangifike ebusuku ogogwami bekangilalisa phansi angibheke ukuthi angibuye bafaneni na every day once nje ngafika late ugogo wami ngikhulele kugogo mina bengilalisa phansi angibheke ukuthi angizange ngilwala nabafana na jwale ya hona nje bana ba bokelwang ska dikgomo o thole hore bana kaofela ba tswile mo le ba ilo hlolwa ene ba hlolwa ke batho ba iseng ba le lapa la habo bona bonnete fela e etsa hore bana ba jwale eka ke dintho fela ha se batho ba nang le maikutlo kapa maikarabello a boitshwaro ba bona ene ya ntshosa hobane hangata e etsuwa e le hore batho ba re ba hlola hore na bana ba ha ba soka ba robalwa bonnete fela kana kongwe bana ba robetswe ke batho ba ka tlung hobane re a tseba hore hlekefetso ya bana hangata e etsuwa ke bo malume ke bo ntate ke bo stepfather so hangwana ono a fumana hore o kile a penetrating already that child is stigmatized as if udumetse hore bana le motho. And jwale he ya tshosa hobane e etsa hore bana ba arohane. It stigmatizes the one who is allegedly not a virgin.
Kunabantwana abancane oma 3 years 2 years abahlolwayo. Senzelana ukuthi mawuqala umntwana sombona ukuthi uyahlukumezeka. Uzokwazi ukuthi umbone umntwana ukuthi lo mntwana useyahlukumezeka ngoba uqale ukuhlolwa amncane. Makaloku akhula ulokumhlola futhi kuyasiza nasebantwaneni abancane ngoba mawuzombheka ukuthi umntwana omncane akakwazi ukukhuluma uhlukumezekile akakwazi ukukhuluma but masiloko sibahlola sizobona ukuthi umntwana uhlukumezekile masinyane sisheshe sibabone kanjalo.
Tell us about the work that the Commission for Gender Equality does.
The Commission on Gender Equality is one of the Chapter 9 institutions. Kuriki engwe ya mekhatlo e entsweng ka baka la molaotheo wa rona hore itle e bokeletse or e etse hlompho le tlotliso ya bong, so that because you know in our past we had a system where men were the hierarchy were higher than women. But in this instance, our constitution tried to reverse that and bring in the sense of equality in terms of our Bill of Rights.
How do we change the mindsets of people, especially Abu Mama, who are hard-headed and are convinced that virginity testing is the only way to curb HIV/AIDS and teen pregnancies?
What we do is we often say, we're protecting and promoting the constitutional principle of gender equality. Having said that, we are not trying to say people should not practice their beliefs, cultural beliefs, tradition and religion. However, those should not also impinge on the constitutional principle of gender equality, on the rights of others. So they ought to strike a balance.
And whilst we've said that most of the young girls in rural areas are taken advantage of, but there are the young girls in urban areas who are promiscuous. Maybe it's because of media, maybe it's because of what they see on TV or hear on radio, but how do we then deal with that situation?
AIDS. We cannot fight a modern disease with an old traditional custom that was inherently practiced through the family and by family members. So I think it's counterproductive, really. It also attracts people who are going to rape these young girls because of the notion that if you have sex with a virgin, it's going to cure your status of HIV. So they don't even realize that they're actually putting these young girls' lives in danger. So you try to talk to them, they don't listen. I'm not going to call the group's name. There's one also in Chawelo who does it, and they also do it here in the city. They once delivered a memorandum here because they were really saying we are attacking African culture. We are not. We are saying if people want to do it, ukuhlolwa has always been there. Let it be done by family in the privacy of their own homes. But my question is, how do people know that you are still a virgin? What informs them?
Yes, Mama, because because your hymen can tear when you're riding a bicycle.
So I'm always curious to know what yini.
And with the Teoguna Laba who use things like a mistake in order to pass the tests, and then there are those who just engage in anal sex.
They don't know what is what works is a fat. Yeah.
Yes.
I've told you.
Thanks for the tip. In what other ways does it infringe on human rights and on gender specifically?
It is an infringement considering that firstly South Africa is a signatory to the Charter on Human Rights, on Children's Rights. We are a signatory, which means that we are protecting the rights of those children. Then it's a fallacy to say that if unale 12 be ke re ho wena ke re ke batla ho hlola hore na o santshane o a o so robalile monna wena o bo dumela o tseba eng. These children are forced, are told by their parents that this is what you're going to do. There is no right, you cannot accede. What do you know? You don't know anything, you are only a child. If you are 18 and you say to your parent, I'd like to do that, I'll respect it because it's voluntary, you've professed an interest in doing it. But you cannot take a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old and say they've agreed. Many parents hide behind the fact that, the saying that, no, they acceded to doing it. They don't, they are told you must do it.
If the lady is matured, they can do it.
Darling, na 15.
Why?
It's because at the age of 15, abantwana sebaba pregnant, abanye sebayenza into snacks, abalala emakhaya, bamba amaphathi, benza into snacks, bazinikele kubafana kakhulu life yakhe bayidependele ebafaneni.
Hayi, wena here how we are out of your own free will, it's fine, you can go. Mara nka mo force hore ai.
After the break on Talk SA, we speak with some young ladies and their mom as they give it to us straight.
Siyenza ngoba sithanda, not ngoba uforcedwa.
Once nga give up virginity bamngebe sabuye because masebhambile bambile never sabuye.
Every woman in our country has got their own opinion about virginity testing, especially because it can be viewed as an infringement on one's gender. But not all of us can speak from experience. So let's meet a young lady who's got a surprisingly different view on the preservation of tradition.
Mele masamba like estradeni sibonakala ukuthi like khamba intombi. Ngabe ngathi khamba amantombazane nje mele kubonakala kucaca ukuthi khamba intombi.
Oh kahle ekhaya sikhule sonta. Sikhule nge-tradition kahle basifundisa ukuthi intombazane kumele ikhule kanjani yenzeni kuze ibe intombazane kuze ikhule iziyoshada basifundisa ukuthi kumele yenze kanjani and then basicicizela ukuthi siye esikoleni sifunde ukuthi sibe nemali sikwazi ukufundisana nathi abasilandelayo
Ezamasiko vele sizifundile because mele sizazi ezisikhula si youth and then ubaba mu pastor no mamami. So basifundise okuningi like ukuthi uziphatha kanjani mawumntwana ulalela abazali no nje ama rules and regulations wasendlini sikhule mina like ngikhule kahle and I appreciate the way bangikhulisa ngakhona namanje.
Ukulala nomfana ungakashadi kuyisono because even esontweni lapho enkonza khona nginabantwana engihlala nabo phansi ngibatshela ukuthi intombazane iyahlala ivala amathanga ayivuli noma kanjani until izishade. Ngiyabatshela ukuthi umsebenzi wentombazane awupheli. Intombazane fanele ihlale esendlini ngaso sonke isikhathi. Ngoba manje intombazane ephithizela yangizwana nayo.
Into esithandile ukuyenza because sibonela ukuthi izosiprotecta from HIV, teenage pregnancy, nokuthi isivikela ukuthi abafana nabantu abadala nabantu basesitadeni bakwazi ukuthi respecta ezamantombazane ama youth intombazane abancane. So you guys sithandile ukuthi siyenze ukuthi sivikele until maybe marriage or something ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi masingena ku marriage sizazi ukuthi saziphatha kahle azange sihambe sisenze into ezisnacks ngaphandle.
Musana ukuhamba nivuma nisebancane uthando alisiyona into elula abantu abami. Mama nabo bakhona abantu abaningi abaganile ngenxa yamadoda angenalo uthando enhlizweni angasenalo uthando olwalukhona ngesikhathi seyithi sinobaba bethu. Izinto ezimoshayo imbongolo iluma ibheke iluma kanye ilishiye iqhubeke yoluma elinye ilishiye iqhubeke iluma elinye izwaqeda onke amabheke awu-7,000 ibhongolo iyonke.
Well, first time bekuthusa because uzwa into eziningi like ukuthi bakufaka iminwe and stuff like that. So mabasihlola okay azikho lezo zinto lezo abazikhulumayo. kuyayenziwa akekho umuntu ofaka umuno anyone ayikho into abakufaka yona they just check you ukuthi uphelele and then that's it.
Iphuma kwabantu abathanda nje ukukhuluma nje kuphela ukuthi bafuna ukuthi abanye abantwana bangayenzi lento le bafane nabo maybe labantu abangasasa ama-virgin bafuna ukwenza ukuthi abantu bafane nabo bahambe balala bayenze snacks
like abanye bagcine baze bathengisa imizimba you know izinto ezi-snacks nje ezenziwa amantombazane and ugcina uthuka abafana yabona futhi ma uqalile waqala bakwazi ukuthi uyitshitshi at the end of the day wena usesejitshi sobonakala wenze ezinye izinto uzithukisa ngabafana. That is why kuphuma indaba ukuthi abomama bayathengwa and stuff like that izinto ezingekho ezenzwa yithi amantombazane ukuthi mawuhlolwa bese ugcina uyekela endleleni then impression yabafana vele ukuthi hayi labo mama laba abanye bayathengwa yeah so amantombazane nje kumele afunde ukuziphatha. That's what I could say.
ababona ukuthi awusese-virgin bayakutshela ukuthi awusese-virgin and then babiza ama-parents akho and then bayatshela ukuthi umntaneni akusese-virgin so decide ama-parents akho ukuthi bayenzani so into emele uyenze kumele ustop ijeni yakho ukuthi hambe i-virginity testing.
Khona lento abathi ukugeza amajiji imbuzi yokugeza amajiji and uyasigeza ihlazo cause usithele ngehlazo thina sisaphelele wasihlaza nje and it's much better if wazi ukuthi awusese-virgin ungayi when kunomcimbi mawuyile then you have to vele ukuthi usigeze because uyasingcolisa like ungcolisa igama lamajiji sisonke ukusidelela actually mawuzoya ungasase-virgin wazi ukuthi wena usese-virgin.
Kuthiwa ngisho ukuthi ke namhlanje uzogezwa amajiji ngoba eyimbongolo isilume ithi la yanyanya bantu abantu.
Once nga give up virginity bamngeke sabuye because masebhambile bambile never sabuye so kumele ngi-enjoy while ngisasenabo kwamanje.
Manje mina ngifuna ukuthi njengoba ngikhuluma ngiyabatshela futhi ngithi angifuni umntana abantu athi uzocela intombi athola ukuthi ucela umuntu osewuvulekile ungazi ukuthi uvule ubani so ngifuna noma umfana eze athi ngiyayithatha intombi ngazi ukuthi uthatha into ephelele.
Your nation builders of the week this week are Imbabazane Cultural Organization, Dr. Tebu Homaitse, and the Virgins. Keep talking, South Africa.
As South Africans, we know they say we don't have a...
Next week on Talk SA, learn how to manage your money better in 2012.
Market oil 44 billion. In other words, 44 billion. In
1901, Emily Hobhouse, who was an English philanthropist and a social worker, visited the Orange Free State and the Transvaal republics in the Second Anglo-Boer War. She then reported to Britain that she found 2,000 women and children in appalling circumstances at a British concentration camp in Bloemfontein. And then in 1964, it was announced by Britain's Foreign Secretary, Mr. Butler, and Glasgow University that their attempts to get permission from the South African government to release Nkosi Albert Luthuli in order to be installed as rector of Glasgow University had failed. From us here at Talk SA, thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, I am Bama, and also don't forget to keep talking SA.